The Galactic Council convened for an emergency session. Representatives from a dozen alien races filled the Grand Chamber, their faces etched with worry. Supreme Chancellor Zorax called the meeting to order. "We face an unprecedented threat," Zorax began gravely. "The Zorgans have launched a massive invasion fleet, conquering star system after star system. None have been able to withstand their onslaught. We need help." Murmurs of concern rippled through the gathered aliens. The Zorgan Empire was notorious for its brutality and advanced weaponry. Many races had already fallen before them. Ambassador Thaxon of the Valyrians spoke up. "What do you propose, Chancellor? Our combined forces are no match for the Zorgans." Zorax nodded solemnly. "Which is why we must turn to them. The humans of Earth." Stunned silence filled the chamber for a long moment before it erupted into a cacophony of protests. "The humans? They are primitives. Have you gone mad, Zorax? The humans are a laughingstock. They've barely achieved interstellar travel. What help could they possibly offer?" Zorax raised his hands for silence. "I am aware of how this sounds. The humans are indeed far behind us technologically. However, they possess a few advantages we do not: tenacity, unpredictability, and a knack for unorthodox solutions. I believe enlisting their aid may be our only hope." Grumbles of reluctance and skepticism met his words, but no one could offer a viable alternative. The decision was made to send an envoy to Earth, begging for whatever meager assistance the humans could provide against the unstoppable Zorgan war machine bearing down on the galaxy. Little did the Council suspect humanity's laughable response would forever change the fate of the universe. The human leaders gathered in a secure bunker deep beneath the surface of Earth. They had just received the shocking message from the Galactic Council pleading for aid against the Zorgan invasion. President John Drake of the United Earth Government looked around at his assembled cabinet and military advisors. "Well, this is unexpected. Aliens showing up on our doorstep asking for our help. I'm not sure if we should feel flattered or terrified." General Maria Valdez, Supreme Commander of Earth's Space Fleet, leaned forward. "Sir, with all due respect, what help can we realistically offer? Our space fleet is a joke compared to these alien civilizations. We only have a handful of ships capable of interstellar travel, and they're all retrofitted cargo haulers and science vessels." Ambassador Lu Wei chimed in. "We may be outmatched technologically, but we can't just ignore this plea for help. If the Zorgans conquer the rest of the galaxy, how long before they arrive at our own doorstep? We need to do something." Heated debate erupted among the officials, with opinions divided between hiding and hoping Earth would be overlooked, or taking a stand with the Galactic Council. President Drake listened to the arguments, a thoughtful frown on his face. Finally, he raised a hand, calling the room to order. "Here's what we're going to do. We can't beat the Zorgans with brute force or advanced technology. But as the aliens themselves noted, we have other strengths. It's time to get creative." He turned to General Valdez. "Assemble our most unorthodox ships and crews. Tap our brightest minds to devise clever tactics and unconventional weapons. If we're going to help, we'll do it our way, the crazy, unexpected human way." To Ambassador Wei, he said, "Inform the Galactic Council we accept their request for aid. The people of Earth stand with them against the Zorgan threat." Determination settled over the room. The humans knew they were the underdogs in this fight, hopelessly outclassed on paper. But they were resolved to face this challenge head-on in the name of their world and all the galaxy. It was time to show the universe what puny Earthlings were made of. The ragtag human fleet assembled at the edge of Earth's solar system. It was a motley assortment of vessels, ranging from sleek experimental battlecruisers to heavily armed transports and even a few refitted colonial ships bristling with jury-rigged weapons. Leading this unorthodox armada was the UES Indomitable, a massive ship that had begun life as a deep space exploration vessel before being hastily converted into a makeshift flagship. On the bridge, General Maria Valdez surveyed her crew and the cobbled-together fleet displayed on the view screens. "I won't lie to you," she said, her voice carrying across the bridge. "We're outmatched in every way by the Zorgans. They have superior numbers, superior weapons, and superior technology. On paper, we don't stand a chance." Grim faces stared back at her, but there was a glint of determination in their eyes. These men and women were the best Earth had to offer, brave, resourceful, and willing to face impossible odds. "But we have a few tricks up our sleeves," General Valdez continued. "We have tactics they've never seen, weapons they won't expect, and a human tenacity that has carried us through countless challenges. We will not go quietly into the night. We will stand and fight, for Earth and for all the free peoples of the galaxy." A cheer rose up from the crew, a defiant roar in the face of overwhelming adversity. Similar scenes played out across the fleet as captains rallied their ships and crews. On the UES Dauntless, Captain Alex Novak addressed his bridge officers. "I know our ship is held together with spit and baling wire, but she's got heart. Just like us. We'll give the Zorgans a fight they won't soon forget." Aboard the UES Valkyrie, Commander Sarah Hawkins grinned fiercely as she outlined the battle plan. "We'll hit them hard and fast, using our agility against their lumbering warships. We may be small, but we pack a punch. Let's show these aliens what human ingenuity can do." As the final preparations were made, President Drake's voice echoed across the fleet's comm channels. "Today, we stand united not just as citizens of Earth, but as defenders of the galaxy. The hopes of countless worlds rest on our shoulders. I know each and every one of you will do humanity proud. Good luck and Godspeed." With a flash of propulsion, the human fleet leaped into hyperspace, racing towards a rendezvous with the beleaguered ships of the Galactic Council. They were a ragtag bunch, but they carried the indomitable spirit of Earth with them, a spirit that would shake the very foundations of the Zorgan Empire. The battle for the fate of the galaxy had begun, and humanity was determined to make its mark, no matter the cost. The combined fleets of the Galactic Council and the humans dropped out of hyperspace on the fringes of the Zorgan-occupied Kepler system. The gathered ships of a dozen alien races hung back, watching warily as the human contingent moved to the fore. Supreme Chancellor Zorax hailed the UES Indomitable. "General Valdez, are you certain about this plan? It seems unorthodox." General Valdez grinned confidently. "Unorthodox is what we do best, Chancellor. Trust us." As the human fleet approached the looming Zorgan armada, the alien invaders opened fire with a barrage of plasma torpedoes and graviton beams. The human ships wove and dodged, their smaller size and greater agility allowing them to evade the worst of the onslaught. The UES Valkyrie and a squadron of swift interceptors darted ahead, drawing the Zorgans' fire. They zipped between the massive enemy battleships, strafing exposed weapon emplacements and sensor arrays with precise strikes. Meanwhile, the UES Dauntless led a group of heavily shielded transports in a daring charge directly towards the heart of the Zorgan formation. The aliens focused their fire on the seemingly suicidal human ships, pouring volley after volley into their straining shields. Just as it appeared the human vessels would be overwhelmed, the transports broke apart, revealing their secret cargo, not soldiers or weapons, but dozens of automated drones. The drones swarmed out, attaching themselves to the hulls of the Zorgan ships like metallic parasites. The Zorgan crews watched in confusion as the drones began to unfold, revealing an array of jury-rigged transmitters and power cells. Suddenly, the drones activated, flooding the Zorgan ships with concentrated electromagnetic pulses and localized gravity well projectors. The alien vessels shuddered, their systems overloading and shutting down under the unexpected assault. Shields collapsed, weapons went offline, and propulsion sputtered. The mighty Zorgan warships were left drifting and vulnerable. Seizing the opportunity, the rest of the human fleet surged forward, targeting the disabled Zorgan ships with everything from repurposed mining lasers to cobbled-together mass drivers. The UES Indomitable led the charge, its experimental ion cannons carving deep gouges into the enemy hulls. The Galactic Council ships, emboldened by the human success, joined the fray, their advanced weapons now able to penetrate the crippled Zorgan defenses. Together, the Allies pressed the attack, hammering the invaders with relentless firepower. Aboard the Zorgan flagship, the warlord Kvax raged as his fleet fell into disarray. "Impossible," he snarled. "How can these primitive humans be defeating us?" As the battle turned against the Zorgans, their lines crumbling and ships falling by the dozens, Kvax was forced to give the order he never thought he would utter. "Retreat! All ships, fall back and regroup at the staging point." The battered Zorgan fleet disengaged, fleeing before the triumphant Allies. Cheers erupted across the human and Galactic Council ships as they watched their foes beat a hasty retreat. In the aftermath of the victory, as the Allies regrouped and tended to their wounded, Supreme Chancellor Zorax reached out to General Valdez once more. "I must admit, I had my doubts about humanity's tactics. But you have proven your worth today. The Galactic Council is in your debt." General Valdez smiled, pride shining in her eyes. "We humans may not have the most advanced ships or weapons, but we have heart and ingenuity. And when the stakes are high, that can make all the difference." The battle had been won, but the war was far from over. With renewed determination, the humans and their alien allies prepared for the long fight ahead, ready to stand against the Zorgan threat and defend the freedom of the galaxy. In the wake of their surprising victory against the Zorgans in the Kepler system, the human fleet and their Galactic Council allies took stock of their situation. While the battle had been won, the war was far from over. The Zorgan Empire still controlled vast swaths of the galaxy, and their defeat had only served to enrage them further. On the UES Indomitable, General Maria Valdez convened a meeting with her top officers and the leaders of the Allied alien forces. Supreme Chancellor Zorax, Ambassador Thaxon, and representatives from a dozen other races gathered in the flagship's war room. "We've struck a blow against the Zorgans, but we can't afford to rest on our laurels," General Valdez began. "They'll be back, and they'll be looking for revenge." Ambassador Thaxon nodded gravely. "Agreed. We must press our advantage while we have it. The Zorgans are still reeling from their defeat. We should strike at their supply lines and staging areas, disrupt their ability to wage war." "What about their conquered worlds?" asked Commander Sarah Hawkins. "We can't just leave them under Zorgan occupation." Supreme Chancellor Zorax brought up a holographic star map, highlighting key systems. "Our intelligence suggests the Zorgans have stripped many of their occupied planets of defenses to bolster their invasion fleets. If we can liberate these worlds, we'll not only free billions of people but also deny the Zorgans vital resources." The assembled leaders debated strategy and tactics, with the humans offering unorthodox suggestions that ranged from daring commando raids to infiltrating Zorgan computer networks with custom-designed viruses. The alien commanders were initially skeptical but gradually came to appreciate the humans' creative approaches. As the planning session drew to a close, General Valdez stood tall, her gaze sweeping across the room. "We have our work cut out for us, but I believe in the strength and determination of everyone here. Humans and aliens alike, we stand united against the Zorgan threat. We fight not just for our own worlds, but for the freedom of the entire galaxy." Murmurs of agreement and nods of solidarity met her words. The once disparate races were forging bonds of friendship and common purpose in the crucible of war. As the fleet prepared to set out on its new missions, spirits were high despite the daunting challenges ahead. On the UES Dauntless, Captain Alex Novak oversaw the installation of newly fabricated weapon systems, smiling as his crew bantered and joked while they worked. In the hangars of the UES Valkyrie, Commander Sarah Hawkins rallied her pilots, humans and aliens alike. "We may fly different ships and come from different worlds, but out there, in the heat of battle, we are all wingmates. We watch each other's backs and fight as one. Across the fleet, similar scenes played out as the Allies geared up for the next phase of the war. Engineers tinkered with ship systems, medics tended to the wounded, and soldiers trained together in the ways of combined arms combat. The road ahead was long and fraught with danger, but the humans and their alien comrades in arms faced it with determination and unity of purpose. They had tasted victory against impossible odds, and now they were ready to take the fight to the Zorgans, to liberate the oppressed and bring hope to a galaxy too long in darkness. The legend of the Laughable human fleet and their indomitable spirit was only beginning, a tale that would be told for generations to come, on Earth and on 100 alien worlds. In the face of tyranny and oppression, they had dared to stand and fight, not just for themselves, but for all the free peoples of the galaxy. The war against the Zorgans raged on, with the Allied fleet striking deep into enemy-held territory. The humans and their alien partners liberated world after world, each victory adding to their legend and inspiring more races to join the fight. On the planet Zephyrus, Captain Alex Novak led a daring ground assault against a heavily fortified Zorgan base. His team, a mix of human commandos and alien warriors, infiltrated the compound, sabotaging key systems and sowing chaos in the enemy ranks. In orbit above the planet, Commander Sarah Hawkins and her squadron engaged the Zorgan fleet, drawing their fire and buying time for the ground forces to complete their mission. The Valkyrie danced through the enemy formations, its agile frame and unconventional tactics proving more than a match for the Zorgan warships. As the Zorgan base erupted in flames and their ships retreated in disarray, the people of Zephyrus cheered their liberators. Captain Novak and his team were hailed as heroes, their bravery and skill a shining example of the power of unity and determination. Similar scenes played out across the galaxy as the Allies pressed their advantage. The Zorgans, once thought invincible, found themselves on the defensive, their empire crumbling under the relentless onslaught. But the war was far from over. In a desperate bid to turn the tide, the Zorgan warlord Kvax unleashed his secret weapon, a massive doomsday device capable of destroying entire star systems. If activated, it would spell the end of countless worlds and billions of lives. The Allies knew they had to act fast. General Maria Valdez assembled a strike team of the best and brightest from across the fleet, humans and aliens handpicked for their skills and courage. Their mission: to infiltrate the heavily guarded Zorgan stronghold and destroy the doomsday device before it could be activated. As the strike team set out on their perilous quest, the rest of the Allied fleet prepared for a final, massive assault on the Zorgan homeworld. It was a gamble, but one they had to take. If they could cut off the head of the Zorgan Empire, the rest would follow. The stage was set for a climactic showdown, with the fate of the galaxy hanging in the balance. The humans and their alien allies knew the odds were stacked against them, but they also knew that they had something the Zorgans could never understand: the power of unity, courage, and an indomitable will to fight for what was right. As the fleets clashed in the skies above the Zorgan homeworld and the strike team fought their way through the heavily defended stronghold, the Allies held fast to their resolve. They had come too far and sacrificed too much to falter now. In the heart of the Zorgan citadel, General Valdez and her team confronted Kvax himself, the warlord mad with rage and desperation. In a final, titanic struggle, they battled not just for their own lives, but for the future of the galaxy itself. And in that moment, the true strength of the human spirit shone through. Against all odds, against an enemy that had once seemed invincible, they prevailed. The doomsday device was destroyed, Kvax was defeated, and the Zorgan Empire crumbled. The war was over, but the story of the humans and their impossible victory was only beginning. As the galaxy celebrated its newfound freedom and the Allies began the long process of rebuilding, the legend of Earth and its brave defenders spread far and wide. The once laughable human fleet had become a symbol of hope and unity, a testament to the power of courage and determination in the face of overwhelming odds. And though the road ahead was long and the challenges many, the humans and their alien friends knew that they would face them together, as partners and equals in a galaxy reborn. In the aftermath of the Zorgan Empire's defeat, the galaxy slowly began to heal. Freed from the yoke of oppression, countless worlds started the long process of rebuilding, aided by the steadfast support of the human-led alliance. On Earth, the victorious fleet returned to a hero's welcome. Massive crowds gathered to cheer the brave men and women who had defied the odds and saved not just their own world, but the entire galaxy. Among the throngs of well-wishers, families reunited with their loved ones, tears of joy and relief flowing freely. In a grand ceremony, the leaders of the United Earth government presented the highest honors to General Maria Valdez, Captain Alex Novak, Commander Sarah Hawkins, and the countless other heroes of the war. The alien representatives, too, bestowed their own accolades upon the humans who had fought so valiantly beside them. As the celebrations faded and life began to return to a semblance of normalcy, the work of building a lasting peace began. The alliance forged in the crucible of war now turned its efforts towards diplomacy, trade, and cultural exchange. Earth, once a backwater world on the fringes of galactic civilization, found itself at the center of this new era. Human ingenuity and adaptability, the very qualities that had made them such formidable allies in war, now served to drive innovation and progress on a scale never before seen. In the halls of power, Ambassador Lu Wei worked tirelessly to foster understanding and cooperation between the myriad races of the galaxy. The bonds forged in battle now grew into true friendships, as former warriors learned to lay down their arms and build a future together. The scars of war would take time to heal, but heal they would. For every shattered world, there was a story of resilience and rebirth. For every fallen hero, there was a legacy of courage and sacrifice that would endure for generations. And through it all, the legend of the once laughable human fleet only grew. In the years to come, children across the galaxy would grow up hearing tales of the brave Earthlings who had stood against the Zorgan tide and emerged victorious. The names of Valdez, Novak, Hawkins, and so many others would become synonymous with valor and determination. But for the humans themselves, the greatest reward was not fame or glory, but the knowledge that they had made a difference. They had proven that even the smallest and most unassuming of races could rise to greatness when called upon to defend what was right. As the galaxy moved forward into a new era of peace and prosperity, the humans of Earth stood ready to face whatever challenges the future might bring. For they had learned the true measure of their own strength, and they knew that together with their alien allies, there was nothing they could not overcome. The Zorgan War had been a crucible, a trial by fire that had forged a new destiny for humanity and the galaxy as a whole. And as the stars beckoned with the promise of new frontiers to explore and new wonders to discover, the once laughable fleet of Earth stood ready to lead the way, a shining beacon of hope and unity in a galaxy reborn.